We are back from Mexico and it's time to take down my Christmas decor. I don't know about you guys, but the holiday season went by like a flash. Today we're going to start taking down my front porch gingerbread house. I absolutely loved this setup and so did my mailman and all the delivery guys. I love that my gingerbread house survived all the hailstorms, all the rainstorms, everything that happened during this holiday season, especially because I used washable paint for everything and I only used a hot glue gun to get everything to stick. Now don't think I'm crazy, but I've already started planning the next year's setup. However, it's not going to be at my house. It's actually going to be at my parents' house and their front porch setup is a lot more unique than mine, so I'm really excited to give it a shot. Hopefully I can create something just as magical. A lot of people were asking me what type of supplies I used to build this gingerbread house, so let's do a quick little recap of everything that I used and how I used it. The candy is Christmas ornaments that ended up getting fried because they were all sitting in my attic, and in Texas the heat is absolutely crazy, and so a lot of these ornaments were actually brown instead of silver. Then for the white parts I just used foam board, but I painted them white. Yes, I know they do come white. I mostly painted it because I didn't like the little black holes that you could see, but I pretty much used foam boards for the entire thing except for my door, which was my biggest regret, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Now, how did I get everything to hold together? I used a hot glue gun, but not just the arts and craft one. I used the one that you would usually use to put lights on brick, but that was mostly for the outside of my porch. For the inside of my porch, I kind of just put everything next to each other and they kind of just held each other in place. The icicles, however, I did use hot glue gun, but I also used double-sided Gorilla Tape, and then I used the instant foam in the corners to really hold them all together. And as you can see, it's really holding this one together. Once I got all the foam boards out of the front door area, that's when it was time to break them into smaller pieces so that I can store them for recycling day on Wednesday. I was not a fan of the sound that these boards would make every time they snapped, and so I tried my very best to just go quick. That way I didn't have to listen to the sounds, and I also didn't want to make my neighbors worried. I was also on a timer because I was trying to get this done before Daniel got home. I sent him to Lowe's to get me some plywood for my next project, and I thought it would be kind of hilarious to show him that I could get it done in the 20-minute time frame that he was gone. Now onto the fun part, which is cleaning my front door. My brilliant mind thought that using washable paint was a good idea to put on my front door, and I'm just going to tell you that was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I've done a lot of dumb things. I really thought this washable paint would just come off very easily, and so I was scrubbing and scrubbing using all kinds of tools trying to figure out how to get this off of my door, and then I was slowly but surely getting everything off, which I was really proud of. And then my husband asked me if he wanted to switch. I told him, no, this is my mess, I need to clean it up. And then he said, okay, well, let me know if you want to switch. And after an hour and a half of getting absolutely nowhere, I decided to go ask my husband for help. And what does my beloved do? He gets it off in literally 20 minutes. I was doing the exact same thing as him, which was get the paint wet, let it set, and then scrape it off. Clearly I wasn't meant for this job, so I'm going to Taco Bell.